top 10 to try a medium soft strategy, and drivers in the top 10 to try a one-stop. But enough talking, and it's time for the racing. And we are away as Alfie looks to have got a good start from the lead, and Crispy has got past Arbon, who's been massively bogged down. And look at Dylan's start, shooting up into P2 already, as Midzi I sees on the inside as well. Arbon's been absolutely swamped from the front row here and has dropped behind Riggs as well. It's a disaster of a start from Arbon as he's lost place to Beast as well.
And further down.
Lost places to Bez's Roller and even Check. That is a horrible start from the AlphaTauri driver. But Alfie's made a good start, as has Dylan.
Bez has almost collected race roller there. But it's just caught that slapper.
Good as well. But our lead driver is SLR Alfie DK, with SLR Dylan in P2 and Crispy in P3.
Ham's made a few positions there, up into 11th as well. Let's have a look at position change.
That, yes. Oh, is this a big crash near the bottom of the field? That is, I don't know what on earth has happened, but Bunny, V2, Benz, Nicky, Para, Jam have all been caught up in something. No idea what happened there, but I'm sure that is one for the stewards.
One for us, eh?
As lots of drivers got caught up in that.
Yeah, it does look like the field sort of settled down now.
Yeah, anyway, back to the racing. Alfie is P1 and has a 7/10 lead on Dylan, with Crispy and Midzi closely following. I do expect this train to last for quite a while. And FRA Ham 19, Ham is forever the opportunist and looks to be hanging on to the back of these guys on his medium tyres, and is potentially looking quite good if he's able to keep with them for his alternate strategy.
The timing's all over the place at the moment.
Although I'm looking here and I don't know whether Midzi's made a mistake because he's lost a lot of time to Crispy. All of a sudden here. As Alfie's nearly pulled a second on Dylan already, as Dylan goes quite deep into that hairpin. I think Alfie has pulled out that second. That's absolutely crucial for this race here.
Yeah, his DRS will be activated next lap, so. The middle pack of the field there have all stayed in that train. I think we'll see a few moves heading into the next lap down the two DRS straights.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially with the likes. And Beast is right on the back of Riggs at the moment, just 2.5 tenths back. He's having a sniff up the inside, but there's nothing on.
Yeah, Beast has made a pretty solid start as we look at the position changes. As Beast is up 2 positions, as well as is Dylan, Midzi, and the race roller.
That's very strange.
Did
Crispy start in 3rd? He did. Did he?
Apparently he did. So yeah, I think he gained a position off the line to Arbon, but then lost one to Dylan as well, which is why
it looks a bit weird.
Position change of 0. Yeah, DRS is now enabled this lap, and Dylan, he's had to use quite a lot of battery to stay in it, but he is within the DRS of Alfie, and it's very, very hard to escape it once the driver behind is in that DRS here.
Yeah, I'm just on board with Arbon as well. It looks like he's clawed right onto the back of Czech here again. I think he's a bit of damage limitation here. He's going to want to try and get past as quickly as possible. We know he's got the pace. We know he's got the 1 lap pace, but we just need to see whether he can hold these tyres, maybe take him an extra lap longer than Czech can, and this is where we'll start seeing our first moves, I think.
Yeah, as Connor said that Ham's on the goated strat, and he certainly is. He is staying in the train that is currently being headed by Midzi, as Midzi's gap to Crispy is a little bit larger than... As Midzi's gap to Crispy has got quite large.
I think this should be a
mistake, I think.
Is there 3 DRSs here at Bahrain? They should just throw a 4th in down here at the sector 3 just to add a little bit of extra jeopardy.
Oh, hang on. There's a bit of a move here. Dylan's been caught lacking a little bit, and Crispy has got past him. So Crispy moves his way up into P2. And Beast and Riggs are going at it here as well, as Beast takes the position and moves up into P5. Riggs gets very slidey on the exit as does Bezos behind him, but Beast makes up another position into P5. can now look to close up on Midzi.
Yeah, I think we were ready for that. I think when that DRS opened, that's Paraquix has just picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That's what they're going to be careful about here.
Already on lap 4, that is it's not good for Para. I wonder whether he's got some damage after potentially being involved in that incident. So I can see Ham's. Oh, Ham's. I said that he lost the DRS, but as I went on board with him, he's lost not only the DRS, but he's lost his back end and has dropped down into P13. He was running so well on the edge of that train, potentially on the better strategy, the alternate strategy. But he's had a bit of a spin and is now dropped down to P13. So there's now Benz who's the lead driver on that alternate strategy.
And
although he is looking quite slow at the moment, as the mediums are not a good tyre initially.
Beast is on a charge, and he's about to make a move on Midzi here as well. He's pulling in. He's gonna have enough track for it, and he's pulled out, and he's made that look easy. Just better traction out of the corner there. And this is excellent driving from Beast so far. Up 4 positions.
Absolutely.
He is a little bit out of touch now from the top 3 who are pulling away a little bit. 2.8 down. But Dylan is sticking on right on the back of Crispy still as well.
Yeah, the top 3 have a big gap to P4 at the moment. Oh, as Midzi loses the back end a bit and he's gone. Is he completely gone?
He needs to keep it off the track. And now it's going to be a case of just getting this car back on track without causing any issues, and he's going to take it real slow. He's going to be really disappointed by that. That's a real shame for the Williams driver, as he was running quite well, but so easy to make mistakes here in the race. Promotes Riggs up to 5th again.
Yeah, and of course promotes Bezos and Roller up as well.
Who are both
it gives Beast a nice little bit of breathing room.
This is brilliant. It's brilliantly close racing here at the front. It's kind of reminiscent of and that's check out. What's happened there?
Oh, check's out. He's had a crash on the exit of the penultimate corner. And there's a safety car, and Alfie's missed the pits.
Alfie's
missed the pits here.
Crispy's made it in, Dylan's made it in, Beast's in, Riggs in,
Dylan's in, Beast's in, Riggs in.
Roller in,
What an absolute disaster here for Alfie. I'm pretty sure most drivers behind him are going to be in for the hard compound tyres, and he's going to have to stay behind the safety car as the safety car came out just as he went past pit entry.
So how many laps are we saying the softs do? 9, 10?
Yeah.
So
roughly about that.
If I'm Alfie now, I'm gonna ride out the safety car without pitting and go for a 2-stop.
Yeah, I think he kind of has to. I think he kind of has to ride out the safety car. I think he probably has to stretch it out to the mediums now. Although, well,
he's pushing it around the track. If you're on board with
him.
He's really pushing the safety car around. He's Hamilton at the minute, screaming the safety car's not going fast enough.
Yeah. I bet he's going to be absolutely livid in the cockpit there.
Yeah, because there we go. That's Paris just caught back up with him. That's Paris AI.
Yeah,
just
Crispy will
caught back
catch up as well. Crispy's gone for the mediums, interestingly. So Crispy's going for the 2-stop, but Dylan, Beast, Riggs behind are going for the 1-stop. Bezos is going for the 2-stop as well on the mediums.
As Para hasn't obviously pitted there, he's stayed out. He's up 12. There's no way he's done that under the pits. But Dylan...
He stayed out, yeah.
Was Dylan not in front of Crispy as he entered the pits? Couldn't have been. Was he?
Crispy had overtaken Dylan, I think.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, it would just be very unfortunate if he's lost a position under the
well, of course,
during the pits.
Dylan potentially is in the Red Bull. The Red Bull's earlier on in the pit lane, so he might have got held up a bit and lost the position.
Yeah.
Although Dylan is the lead runner on the hard compound tyres, though, and... well, this race has suddenly been blown completely wide open. Pretty much everyone, with the exception of Bezos, Crispy, Para, and Alfie. As Alfie comes into the pits now.
And Chet's just put in chat, ruined his teammate's race, so it looks like he may have had... oh, yeah, he's on about Alfie. And Alfie has pitted. He has come in for the hards, and he's going to hurt himself. It's not the worst. He's going to come out in... oh, he's in 14th. No, last. Never mind. really
yeah, he's
unfortunate.
come out in stone dead last.
He must have been literally 20 metres away from the pit. He just... Would he have got a penalty for crossing the pit entry line? Because I know you get penalties for crossing the pit exit, but I've never seen a penalty for crossing pit entry.
I think you potentially could, yes.
I mean, someone would
I'm interested
that
he's done that though, because essentially here he's put himself on the same strategy as everyone else, with the exception of, well, people like Crispy, who have gone for the 2-stop. And has put himself into last, and with basically no chance essentially of getting up any major positions. But
yeah, I think I would have just come in, slapped slapped a set of mediums on, gone for these. What are we looking at there? Who's actually on? Yeah, everyone's on the hards. Nicky's on the mediums, so I might have.
Yeah, Nicky had to go on the mediums because he
started on the hards.
On the hards, of course.
See, yeah, if I'm Nicky, I'm not pitting. Yeah. Why not run that long?
I'll tell you what here.
You've been up in P1. P2 behind Para. It's a strange strategy decision. Everyone needs you on their strategy teams then.
Yeah, I mean, everyone going on the hard compound tyres, that's a really smart decision from them, because they will be able to make it to the end of the race. And losing time in a pit stop, you lose an awful lot. I see why Para's stayed out, because, well, I guess he's just essentially taking the risk of potentially another safety car.
Well, that's
Para's
isn't
gone
it?
very, very early here, and he's caught his teammate napping a little bit here. And I wonder whether he's going to let Crispy go here and try and hold up the others behind him, because Crispy's got to pull a gap here. He does have to pit again, presumably onto the set of softs.
No, he doesn't look like he's letting him go. He's gonna race him down and tell, oh, there you go, and that's a swap
he's gonna
over.
Let him go
he's
on
not.
This straight, I reckon. He'll let him go on this straight, I'm 100% sure.
Looks like he's racing him. There you go.
Yeah. They know each other. They know each other. They've raced with each other before. They're gonna. Para knows that Crispy's a quicker driver, and obviously because he's on that fresher set of tyres, and Crispy needs to pull that gap to Dylan and the rest of them behind. But at the moment, the effective podium is Dylan, followed by Beast, followed by Riggs, because they are the top 3 drivers who need not to pit again. Who don't need to pit again. Yes, words.
On the talk of strategy there, do we think that Crispy and Para maybe synchronise the Para staying out, knowing that he'd come out in front of Crispy and was able to let Crispy have that clean air and drive away, and has sort of taken one for the team there?
Potentially, although Para wouldn't have known what tyres the other drivers would have gone on to. But yeah, that is a big risk on Crispy, as well, if he'd have just gone onto the hard compound tyres and tried to make the end of the race, then it would have been looking relatively safe, although he has already pulled 1.5 seconds on Para.
Oh, and looks like Bezel and Riggs are going wheel to wheel through the final corner there.
Yeah, Bezos is in an even worse position than Crispy, obviously, because he's going to have to...
Bezos making a move into T1.
Because he's going to have to make these positions up and then pit. As Bezos has got the position, he's moved up into P5. Those mediums are looking very, very quick, but
the hards haven't come into their own just yet.
Yeah, they do take a while to warm up.
They're all going to be having the same issues on the hards there. They're going to be trying to find that optimal window.
I was looking at this currently. Yeah, Crispy's pulled a 2-second gap, but he needs to make up an additional 20 seconds from now until the end of the race if he wants to catch up with Dylan and the rest.
I just don't see that happening. He's a very, very fast driver. I've pulled 2 seconds out in a lap and a half here, so maybe I'll be eating my words in 20 laps time. But it's just, he's got to keep those mediums alive. He's going to have to manage them enough that when it comes down to it, that he's got enough tyre left to put those lap times in to keep that gap, and then let him come in for his softs.
Absolutely, as I am on board with Dylan here, and it does look like he does really want to get past Para as soon as possible.
Yeah, he's
These two drivers used to working with each other. In the first couple of in the last couple of races they've been a part of, and then they're going to work against each other.
Dylan's got to be careful of Beast behind him as well. He's sniffing. You can smell the exhaust.
Yeah, he is. As is Bezos behind Beast, of course, on those medium compound tyres.
Beast had a little bit of a
Paris still holds firm ahead of Dylan.
Bezos going for it. He's not close enough. I think one more lap and Bezos is going to have that move done.
Yeah, Beast doesn't particularly need to fight Bezos, as Bezos is not ready in his race unless Bezos tries to stretch out these mediums a mammoth distance and try and go to the end of the race on them.
Alfie's making a move on Ham and and they go wheel to wheel and it looks...
Alfie's trying to hold it around the outside.
Looks like he's going to have it.
Is Ham going to have to back out? He is, yes. Yeah, Alfie's absolutely flying. He's a man on a mission here. We know that he's going to be incredibly frustrated, but if he can make these moves like we know he's got the pace to do, then...
He's being attacked here by Bunny as well. There's a lot of battling going on. There is a lot of...
the only driver who's not involved in the battle really is Crispy.
He's in the wall, and that's it, safety car. That's going to be a safety car. Bunny. It's not it. Sorry, my little... That's going to be a safety car.
There is another safety car.
In the pit, Alfie, in the pit. No, don't. Wait, what am I saying? Bit early for a safety car for someone else coming now.
And Crispy's now being caught behind the safety car. As Para, Riggs, Race Roller have all elected
Cooper Benz is in. Yeah, any medium runner now is going to want to be in the pit. And
yeah, I guess Para's gone for a set of hards, and obviously Riggs, and obviously I guess all these other drivers are going on a set of mediums because they reckon that they can carry them to the end of the race from here, which they can. That's really interesting that so many drivers have gone to and taken the risk of pitting under the safety car to bolt with a set of mediums.
Yeah, and we look at Arbon. Started P2, had a terrible start down to P9, P10, and with a couple fortunate safety cars, P5 at net P3. And when we take out the two medium runners out of the picture there, so his bad race has gone, is going the right direction again. I've
got a question here though. The mediums, I know they do roughly 20 laps a push around this track. They obviously boxed onto them under a lap 5 safety car, I think it was. I'll just double check the race director for Crispy to fully just confirm this. It was a lap 6 safety car.
So that'd be 23 laps?
Yes, but there's been 2 safety cars, obviously, and that's a good 6 laps under safety car conditions. Can that give them that extra tyre life that potentially they need, well, Crispy and Bezos in particular, to try and make these tyres last to the end of the race?
Are you able to lower your fuel mix during safety cars?
You can, yes, but okay. I don't think they'll need to because
so I'm thinking
they'll be way over fuel anyway.
That's the only other thing. If he has got too much fuel on, the weight of the cars, his tyre wear is going to be a little bit higher while the car's a little bit heavier. So that might tip the scales a little bit, but I think he's going to be pushing it real tight to take those mediums all the way. I think that's going to be his goal and his aim, but they're surely going to be so slow by lap 25 that it's going to open the door for anyone that is anyone that's within 3, 4, 5 seconds, because he's surely gonna hit a cliff.
I feel like he's got no other choice really, to be honest, because if he pits, then he's going to drop so far back as Crispy if he pits. But
and now
if he stays out, tries to make his tyres last to the end
with all those pitters. So that's good to see.
Yeah, indeed, he's not completely out of the running. You said that it was Alfie that crashed, but it was actually Bunny. I completely missed it.
No, I was on board with. I think he was running just behind. He spun his tyres up a little bit coming out the penultimate corner. Just lost the rear end. It looked like he caught it once. It'd gone a second, and then the third time was just too late. Car exploded on the wall.
Yeah. And also another question here. We saw how quick Crispy's mediums were compared to the hards. There's a load of drivers, Race Roller, Riggs, Midzi, Nicky, Ham, who have gone onto a fresh set of mediums, or potentially a slightly worn set of mediums, although some of them I think will definitely be fresh. Taken that risk, obviously getting that free pit stop, only losing a handful of positions. What are they going to do on these medium tyres? They're certainly going to be a lot quicker than the hards, given how early they boxed onto them. Could they potentially fight through and potentially challenge for the podium? These guys have pitted.
Just a little word on what's happened. Oh my god, I was just about to say how
Jam's around.
Yeah, I was just about to say how Jam is up 11 positions, up into the points from last, and he's had a spin under the safety car. He's done a George Russell, but he kept out the wall. Now
I
he's
wonder
behind
whether he made contact with somebody. Nobody's been given a penalty, so I don't think so. But yeah, Jam's now at the back of the field on those older hards, and yeah, that's not good at all. As we are underway, as Crispy has had a relatively okay restart, although Dylan is quite close to him. I think the closest battle near the top of the field is going to be Bezzers and Beast. No, nothing doing there as Alfie's gone around the outside of V2. Caught him napping and Alfie moves up into P6 here. Alfie's now suddenly, if the Crispy and Bezzers have to pit, Alfie's suddenly in an effective P4 after being last a few laps ago.
And under no fault of his own as well. Oh, he's just caught a little tank slapper there as well.
As yeah, Crispy's tyres are still looking better, but Race Roller and Riggs have got past V2 as well. V2's really struggling on these hards, and these guys behind him are just eating him alive.
Yeah, Cooper Benz said he's got some damage. Why he's running so slow at the moment. I can't see any direct damage. Might be fixed now.
But that's
don't know how he's met. Oh, it's Paraquix. But Paraquix has got some damage. Oh yeah, I can see it.
The drivers I'm looking out for now are Alfie and Race Roller, because Alfie looks like he's really trying hard to potentially get past Arbon as soon as he possibly can. He's going on a charge and he's potentially trying to win this race. It is possible, although Race Roller, I'd say, would be perhaps the better bet behind him to make up these positions. I honestly can't call this at all.
Ooh, there's a slight bit of contact there between Paraquix and V2 as they bump wheels coming through the final
And that
corner.
allows Midzi to get past as well on his fresh mediums. Because he was a driver who was completely out of it, but is now suddenly
back in it.
Maybe even trying to make a move on Para as well.
He's going to try around the outside. Oh.
He can't do it, although he might be able to do it on this lap.
And Race Roller as
Using
well.
a lot of his battery.
Race Roller sat right on the back of Alfie still.
Is Midzi going to have a lunge? He is. Oh,
he's round, and that's a big crash there. Someone else? Has he collected someone else, or has he got away with that?
Someone did hit him, yes. But yeah, I do think that was V2 that made contact with him. But to be honest, I think that was a day late and $1 short from Midzi.
Looks like he's damage free. V2, as well as Coop. It was definitely one of the Ferraris.
They'll be very lucky if they are.
It looks like it. Their front wings look intact. The rear wings look intact. No penalty there from anyone though. Everyone's cars do look. What damage are we running this on? Is it on simulation or full?
I think it's standard, so there can be side pod damage, but it's not a ridiculous amount.
Yeah, I know, because if you go simulation, you can pick up debris, can't you, from previous crashes and stuff.
Yeah.
I love
the
look
Nicky's
of
in the
points.
Nicky is in the points. As Alfie, I think he does, but maybe want to make a move on Arbon here. Is he going to go up the inside?
Race Roller's going with him.
Out. Oh no, Race Roller does back out. As look at this, Arbon, Alfie, Beast, Bezzers all battling it out.
Race Roller's going to make his move now. He's right alongside.
Yeah, he's going to go down the inside as he almost tries two moves at once. Oh my god, Alfie's still there on the outside. They're going side by side. Don't hit each other, guys. Don't hit each other.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Switch back, and he's absolutely done it.
He's still there, though.
But Alfie's still there.
And Riggs is watching from behind. He's waiting for this. He's waiting for these two to clatter into each other. So, and Riggs is right on the.
Oh, Narbon gets compromised, and that means that Race Roller and Alfie nearly hit each other again. Dylan flags somewhere, or that is Ham behind.
I'll go have a look, see what's going on further back, because That was a good battle, that. No, this is the closest battle at the moment.
Yeah, this is incredible racing from these guys. It's great advert for this league at the moment. It's fantastic racing.
At the front, Crispy's not pulling the gaps that he needs to. He's only 1.5, 1.6 ahead, and this is 4th lap after safety car now, so his mediums clearly haven't got the life they had on that first restart.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's
I think
Race
he
Roller
does just
going
have to just firm it and try and go to the end. But yeah, Race Roller, Arbon has quite low battery. This move should be quite easy. What about the move on from Riggs on Alfie? Riggs is sending up the inside. Oh, Alfie's trying to hold it. They do bang wheels a little bit, but Riggs muscles his way through up into P7. So Alfie, from looking to be on the offensive, has now suddenly dropped a couple of positions. But he's sending it up the inside of Riggs and he's got the position back.
There was possible
ridiculous.
wing contact there on Riggs' car. I'm just trying to see if I can get a view on that, see if he's lost an end plate. I didn't see anything flick up, but it did look like they had slight touch. Give me such a far away camera angle. Give me a closer one. I'm looking forward.
I think they're fine. It looks like Riggs is fine, but yeah, this is fantastic racing though.
I'm looking forward to seeing the 2022 cars be driven around these tracks next year. It's going to be a sight to see.
It's going to be completely different as well, of course. They're going to have a lot less downforce, obviously.
A lot less parts to fall off as well, which would be great.
Absolutely. Speaking of the drivers on the mediums, Bezos is now trying to potentially catch up to Dylan here, as he's nearly within that DRS on those medium tyres. And he kind of needs to get close now before they completely fall off.
So looking at the
they are going to be really tight.
Look at the battery situation here in the top 10 as well. Crispy's seems to be the king of the battery at the moment with upwards of 40%, but everyone else less than 20. Beast's got a little bit. Yeah,
Dylan's struggling. Bez is struggling on battery.
Beast
is going to be able to save. Roller's obviously used quite a bit. As Alfie and Riggs are battling again, and then Riggs has gone down the inside.
Oh,
as Alfie's been forced to take the curb,
and he's lovely bit of driving there from Alfie to keep himself off the racing line and actually get off track and allow the other drivers pass without causing.
And I can see he's in AI, so he's going to be recording a clip. But
yeah, I think he'll feel there. I think he'll feel there that he was maybe forced off track, but as we've seen from the real world, it's I just caught the edge of it.
There's a yellow flag, and that is V2 who was around.
Taking the Verstappen line he had through that corner.
As I'm looking at Race Roller now, and Roller he's on those medium compound tyres, those fresh medium compound tyres, and it does look to have worked for him so far. He's up into P5, and he's going to be way quicker than these guys ahead of him.
And we know he's going to make it to the end. There's no way. I mean, if the likes of Crispy are going to be taking those tyres to the end, then Race Roller's not going to have any issues.
Yeah, Roller will definitely make it to the end, as Alfie has gone into the pits.
And Alfie's retired.
Alfie's
What's happened there?
He's clearly had enough. He's
retired.
Not happy with how his race has gone, and he's retired in the pits.
Yeah, I think that's a shame. I think he could have stayed out on track there and taken a few points. I know how frustrating it is to have races go against you, and you couldn't say any of it was his fault today. Bad luck with his teammate crashing out and causing a safety car that he just missed the pit for and ended up with
Nicky's round. Nicky is round. And Arbon's suddenly in P10, so I wonder whether something's happened to him as well.
I think it looks like
something that we've missed.
There's a lot of drivers off track there as well, so if maybe Arbon. Where was Arbon? Arbon was in. He was behind Riggs, was he not in front of Riggs?
10.
Ignoring yellow flags.
Something's happened. And
a jam. Ignoring yellow flags.
That's weird. No idea what's gone on there.
Has he overtaken in the yellow?
Teleported behind Lindsay or something. I don't know.
Oh, he must have.
Maybe he's overtaken someone
who was maybe off track. Yeah.
Yeah, someone who's maybe recovering under the yellow flags. But yeah, no idea what's happened there, to be honest.
I think that might be on Arbon. He looked. He was off track, slightly off track, and as he come back on, it looked like everyone has sort of just squeezed their way around. It'd be hard to tell, but they have.
Do any of these guys have damage?
A massive way back now. See if I can. End plates look fine on most of these guys. Arbon's right on the back of Midzi. Oh no, right on.
Oh, his Ham's outbroken himself massively, and he does very well to avoid Arbon there. But he is going to be under pressure from Nicky behind. Nicky's got quite a lot more battery, and after that spin, does want to try and fight back. A points position is perhaps on the cards for Nicky, as he does make the move for Ham. Yeah, very weird situation there with those guys. No idea what happened, but
I'm sure we'll be seeing some clips of that at some point.
Yep. As now.
Yeah, Sprightly puts in chat is questioning Alfie's decision there to retire in the pit. I think that's a fair assumption.
I can understand it because obviously he's going to be really infuriated because that safety car just put his race on that downward spiral, and then obviously trying to fight through and doesn't quite work out. You sometimes just want to basically just hide in a hole in a way.
Race roller on the back of Beast.
I'm on board with race roller.
Yeah.
He's on the making a move. And one Red Bull's overtaking someone, and one Red Bull's being overtaken as Bez still has life in those medium tyres and moves himself into P2.
Dylan's not going to let this go though. He's not going to be in. There's no DRS. He's harvesting that battery down the straight. He's just got enough to keep ahead. But Bezos is running real low on that battery, and Dylan does have a little bit in reserve that he can use to just pump that car past and chase after Crispy, who is now nearly 4 second gap. Those tyres are not going to be feeling very nice.
He's eyeing up a move on Para. He's trying all sorts with his rigs. He's trying to go left, right, whichever way, inside and out, trying to get past the McLaren driver, but he can't do it yet.
Yeah, I think Riggs is going to be thinking, Riggs has got this position. If he just stays behind Para, which he's not going to want to do, he knows he's got the position as Para has got a 3-second penalty. But he's going to want to get past and get that track position and get after Beast.
I think he's thinking about attacking.
Yeah.
Yeah, Beast obviously is on those hards, and Riggs knows that if he can get past Para, then Beast should be an easier move on the harder tyres, on the older tyres, I should say. Yeah. As now Dylan, is he going to potentially try and move back on Bezos?
Arbon looks like
he really needs to get past him because Bezos has got to be on the same tyres. Bezos is on the same tyres and same age tyres as Crispy. So if Dylan sticks behind Bezos, then he's not going to be able to catch him, but he does make the move. And Bezos is coming back at him now. This is Crispy's going to be absolutely loving this as Dylan and Bezos are going at it, but Bezos does reclaim the position.
Arbon has got past Ham, and Jam has taken a little sniff as well and tried to throw it up the inside and take his brother.
Riggs is looking on the move on Para now. They do bang wheels. They bang wheels again.
Riggs is off track.
Riggs has to go completely off track.
See, don't want to speak too soon on that one, but
see, I only saw the end of that.
Yeah, I
Midzi, I think, has gone again. He's in the wall.
I caught him mid-corner.
Yeah, it's really been a race to forget for Midzi, sadly. He's now down in P14 in last place.
As Bezos, Dylan and Race Roller are all within and Beast and Assassin's now is in DRS range as well of each other. And this looks like it could.
Yeah, I think Race Roller's going to be looking quite good here. If he can get past these drivers, he could have a shot at the victory.
8 laps remaining as well. It looks like
as Bezos does elect to pit. There it is. That's those mediums. He doesn't reckon they can make them to the end, and Bezos has gone into the pits. A set of soft compound tyres.
I'm gonna have a little jump on Crispy's lap times and just see what he's been setting. The last 5 laps, 29 flat, 28.9, 29.1, 29.1, 28.9. So his times aren't dropping off. At the moment, he's holding sort of similar lap times. I don't know whether
Bezos has maybe done some maths in his head and worked out that those mediums won't last to the end, but he's dropped down to last place there, and I'm not so sure whether that's the right move there. Always, speaking of moves, has made a move on Arbon for P9.
And a jammer be sniffing too.
And while that went on, actually, I completely missed that. Dylan and Race Roll are obviously teammates. They're going to be in communication for this race. I know they are. Dylan obviously knows Race Rollers on those fresher tyres, and he just let him go with the hopes of potentially trying to latch on the back of him to try and catch up to Crispy here.
Well, they have taken about 3/10 off Crispy in that last lap. He was about 5.3, 5.4 seconds ahead. Now he's only 5. Whether maybe Crispy's tyres will soon.
Yeah, he's done a 29 flat that lap, and Roller, obviously with the aid of DRS, has done a 28.6.
Yeah, and Dylan a 29.5.
A few tenths. At the moment, it's not going to be enough, I don't think, but he's going to need to find a few more tenths than that. But it's all about just whether Crispy can get to the end without a puncture. Bez obviously feels like he's not. Bez has obviously felt like he was not.
Arbon back past
so let's to pit.
down the main straight.
Oh yes.
Which is strange. 16 lap old hards versus Ham's 11 lap old mediums. But obviously the DRS assistance is helping.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so hard to break away in Bahrain, as I said. See, just Dylan and Beast are still staying with Race Roller, of course. Although saying that, Beast might have made a little bit of a mistake out of that hairpin and has dropped off a bit.
Yeah, I think
but
Dylan...
all focus now is on Crispy and his tyre wear.
I think Dylan needs to make sure he stays within the DRS of his teammate in just for a couple more laps. Just keep as much, just keep as close as possible, because they are slowly chipping away at Crispy's lead there. That's another 2 tenths that lap. Coming down, and
it's just going to get even worse when Crispy's tyres eventually fall off the cliff. He's doing a fantastic job, it must be said, and he's actually upped his pace on the last lap.
But then Race Roller must have upped his too, because, like I said, that gap is slowly trickling back down. And I think he will be watching that. And if Crispy's tyres are going to make it to the end, then we know Race Rollers are, and we know that for the next 5 laps, Race Roller can put constant laps in, as Crispy has been doing.
Connor asked, how on earth is Crispy lapping that quickly? And well, I'm asking myself the same question, to be honest. And I'm also asking myself the question of why did Bezos elect to pit? Surely it'd be worth taking the risk of maybe getting the puncture, but also maybe getting that podium. Yeah. As Mizzy just let Bezos go. He knows he's on those fresh softs. Obviously they are teammates, and Bezos can go after and try and salvage at least a few points from his race. He does, of course, have the fastest lap point at the moment as well.
Died down just a little bit. Gaps have started to form, and I think people are just falling into their rhythm. Joe, I think these elite races, or these McKeon division races, would be great as full 100%ers. The amount of battles that we've seen, and
I'm sure the drivers would not agree with you though.
The wheel-to-wheel racing is just immense, and you get this kind of stuff in the lower divisions, but you know, there's a bigger margin of error. I feel like these guys are really right on the edge of their limit, and the battle we saw.
One thing I'm going to do here though is I'm going to go on board on the lap with Crispy, seeing just how close to his limit is he. How much is he having to save his tyres? He does lock up into turn 1, but
he's lost another 2 tenths there though. But there's only 4 laps to go, so he's not losing enough.
Yeah. Essentially all this is going to come down to is, will Crispy get a puncture on his tyres? If he doesn't, this will be an absolutely mammoth effort from him to make these mediums last the entire race. He's done so well to be able to pull out this gap. But you can see he's really struggling to get the power down now. He's locking up pretty much into every corner, and yeah, I mean, like, the gap's not coming down that much, but
and it looks actually now like Dylan has caught back up to Race Roll a little bit and closed his gap. I think it's going to be real difficult now for the Red Bull pairing to catch up to Crispy, and you know, it's one thing to catch, another thing to overtake.
Another thing to pass. Yep.
I
Yeah,
think.
absolute hats off to Crispy though for his drive though, because as I said, if he can make it to the end, then that'll be taking a set of tyres that's only supposed to go about 18, 19 laps at the absolute max, taking them 23, 24 laps.
There's a yellow
flag in sector 3. Who is that? That is Ham has had a spin and he's collided. He's taken out a lot of boards on the inside, and not sure what's happened there with him, but he has had a moment. And that is potentially his race over.
I think Riggs here
driving off the track now and just slowly just trying to get back to the pits. So I guess to retire.
Harris making a move on Beast down into turn 4.
Oh, hello.
And
Power, of course, does have that penalty, but up into P4.
What tyres is Beast on? 19-year-old lap
on
hard.
19-lap-old hards.
They look like they've hit a cliff for him, or he's just not getting on too well, and they've not had their second life yet because
Yeah.
With Para past and Riggs behind on a 14-year-old lap medium. Yeah, he's got a sniff. He's got a sniff of jumping over Beast. Obviously, Para with that penalty, like you said, that 3-second penalty is another yellow. Where's that? That's combat.
V2.
Yeah, he's round. Connor thinks Crispy's tyres will surely blow. And then Sprightly says Colden last night in the free race took him about the same length. He's got time to give him a break. So yeah, it makes a good point there that he can lift and coast through the corners, give those tyres every chance of surviving. That gap is down to 4 seconds, but I just think that's too far now. I think that's Crispy's to lose, if you ask me.
Oh, as he's all over the place now, is that the first sign of his tyres absolutely hitting the cliff? Is that the first mistake he's had with these tyres?
He looks slippery. He looks very slippery. They're gone.
This is going to be driving on absolute ice for Crispy on these last couple of laps. Roller would have seen Crispy made that mistake, and he would have seen the gap come down a bit.
I think this
and it's going to be like potentially the beginning of Cars. Crispy is Lightning McQueen, potentially on those 3 wheels at the end of the race, and Roller's got to catch up with him.
He's got 2 laps to do it.
Yeah, this is a
I think
hell of a task for Crispy's now. He's got to look how much he's lifting through this corner. He doesn't want to go full throttle at all, and
he's got to be really careful here not to have a spin, not to just catch a curb, or not just put the power down too soon. And
yeah, exactly.
And where's Bez? Bez is up to 9th on those softs as well, so he's back into the points. Maybe his tyre wear was a little bit higher than Crispy's. Maybe he pushed a little bit harder at the start of the stint, and
yeah, Bez of course was battling Cars as well.
So he's now a second slower. Crispy is with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, he lost 6 or 7 tenths to Roller that lap, but it's still not going to be enough unless he gets that puncture. Yeah, he's not taking anything out of those tyres into Sector 1 now. It's, as Czech said, not sure Roller has the tyres to get him either. Yeah, Roller's tyres aren't going to be the best, but they're going to be a good 5 or 10% at least better than Crispy's at the moment.
I'm interested in this battle for what would be 4th at the moment, or with Riggs and Beast.
Yeah, Beast obviously on those older hards, and Riggs on those slightly fresher but still not fresh mediums.
Jam fighting Midzi down in just outside the points. I think both of these guys are not getting any points today unless Arbon has a terrible couple final laps. But they're still going to battle anyway. They're going to try and take the 11.
Connor, you've got to bear in mind that they're 22-lap-old mediums, but they did have 2 safety cars as well. So that partly explains why he's been able to tyre save a bit. But we're now entering the final lap, and I'm going to focus on one man and one man only. There will be a first-time McKeon Division race winner. There will be a first-time winner in the top division here in this race. It looks like it's going to be either Crispy or Roller, but all eyes are on whether Crispy can make his tyres last. squirming all over the place, but it does look to be okay on pace. Oh, suddenly Dylan's had an off. Dylan's had an off and he's lost a position to Para. Not sure what's happened there, but Dylan's dropped down into P4.
I think he
will still get a podium
yeah.
if Para can, if he can stay within 3 seconds of Para, of course. But that does potentially put him under the threat of beast. Although just looking at all of these drivers, they're not loving their tyres at all.
There's a yellow flag in sector 1.
And that is
Midzi.
Midzi, yes.
Right, jump back on board with Crispy here as he actually is.
But I'm going to jump back on Crispy. 2 corners left, the gap's 2.5 seconds between him and Race Roller. He's navigated that faster right.
It is coming down so quick. 2 more laps.
Coming down to the
would have been it.
Yeah, I think he's just got to bring it home now. Just 1 corner left. Standing between Crispy and his first ever McKeon Division SLR victory. He's weaving around as he's celebrating, and Crispy wins the race with an absolute phenomenal display of tyre saving. Race Roller comes home in P2 with Dylan taking P3 after Para's 3-second penalty. Beast Assassin takes P4, which I believe is his best ever result in the top division. Riggs on his debut in the McKeon Division takes P5 with Para obviously P6, as I said. Bezzers comes home in P7 on those fresh softs.
Yeah, so 9 seconds back from Para there as well.
Yeah.
But
of course, if he potentially, if he'd have got a puncture, then he would have got a lot less than that.
I think he made the right
Benz
decision
comes
there
home
for
in
himself.
P8, and Nicky takes points in his first race. Arbin does come home in P10, so he is going to take home something, although he's probably going to be a bit disappointed from starting from the front row. Jam does come home in P11, which is perhaps the worst position to finish in, just 1 position from the points. Taking his hards across 23 laps. V2X Combat comes home in P12. Kind of a race to forget from him.
Yeah.
Midzi does not want to take the checkered flag and is retired in the pits in P14. And Ham, I believe, was a lap down in last place.
I think, yeah, let's get driver of the day votes in the chat. I think...
Yeah, we're seeing a flood of Crispy votes, and I do not blame anyone voting Crispy at all, because...
No, definitely a few honourable mentions there. I think, yeah, we say Crispy had a very good race. I think Riggs down in P5, started P5, finished P5. Oh, no, he had a net gain of nothing. But yeah,
Race Roller making those moves on those. Race Roller making those moves on the mediums was brilliant as well.
Yeah, I think so many drivers had brilliant races, and it was a shame to see Arbon down where he was, because he fought back, lost him again, fought back, lost him again. Just, I think overall great racing from everyone. A few spins here and there, but that's what you expect when you're shaking off the cobwebs from the mid-season break. Oh yeah, I forgot we do interviews, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. But it is a Red Bull double podium with Crispy taking the victory after taking those mediums a good 5 to 10 laps longer than they had any right to go.
I'll let you do the interviews as well, because you're
okay.
You're smart.
Will do. So so I think we have everyone in the party now. So can you all tick your boxes?
Ticket for me, boys.
Yes. And I'm going to start off with Dylan. Well, your debut race in the McKeon Division, and it's a podium. Are you happy with the performance? Do you feel like you could have got any more out of that race? And just generally, how do you feel?
I mean, if my brain functioned on lap 11 or lap 10 when the safety car came out, I should have jumped in for the mediums. But yeah, hindsight, that's a great comeback in the McKeon Division, or Elite Division, whatever it is called. McKeon Division in this year. No, it's a great race. When Roller came past me, or well behind me, I was like, well, he said multi 21 in the party. He's like, yo, I'll get the message, mate. Don't worry. No, but in the end, that's a double podium for Red Bull, so it's a fantastic start and a great comeback for me.
Yeah. Qualifying looked to go pretty well. I believe you got P4, I want to say, in qualifying. Gained a couple of positions at the start, then Then what did you think when that first safety car came out? Obviously, we saw Alfie just miss the pits. Was it borderline for you as well?
Well, I mean, I was just before the white line, so I was like, well, just jump in straight away, and I just selected the hards as that felt like the right tire for that moment. So yeah, that's so unlucky for Alfie because he was so fast. I couldn't keep up with him after the great start I got. So I tried to work together with Crispy on the first few laps, but Alfie was just so quick. We couldn't get back in, and then the safety car came in, and I felt like the hards were the right tire because I saw Crispy go on mediums. I was like, oh lord, have I made the wrong decision here? But I think in the end with P3 that paid off well.
Yes, it certainly did, and you've secured a podium position. So
Well in.
certainly one to be happy about.
Cheers.
Now on to Roller and P2, and the lead Red Bull for the Red Bull double podium. Looked to be a bit of a quiet race from you until you were the lead driver to pit under that second safety car. What was the thought process there? And did you expect to get as high as a podium when you pitted?
I mean, yeah, Bahrain, as I've said to you before, one of my worst tracks, so I was actually very happy with P10, although probably could have gotten higher because on both my Q3 laps my wheel lost force feedback during offline laps, so that was a bit frustrating. And then I thought I could maybe get 5th or 6th after the first safety car because I got held, lost 1 or 2 positions, and then second safety car, Dylan didn't pit, so I was like, okay, I might as well try this. Managed to jump Wrigley in the pits, and then a few hairy moments coming through the field on the fresh mediums, but yeah, could have had the win, honestly. I have no idea how Crispy didn't get a puncture, especially on pad, but yeah, well done to him. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. One of my least favourite and worst tracks, and I still got a podium out of it. Maybe a bit lucky, but yeah.
Certainly a good drive to recover through the field and get that podium and a good start to the season. Now on to Crispy, your first ever McKeon Division race, and you were saying that you were hoping that some luck would come your way, and well, it certainly has to get that win, but it was far less luck and far more just how did you make those tyres last to the end?
Your guess is as good as mine, to be honest.
Magic.
I honestly don't really know. I don't know. It's the honest answer I can give you. I think my rear, was it the rear left? The rear left was the worst one at the end. I think it was on something like 80%, but yeah, I don't know how I've done it, to be honest.
We saw you even at the line, and obviously, like, just talk us through your race and just kind of how you feel with how the race went and just your victory in the end of it.
Well, I think at the start, kind of like Dylan sort of already touched on, Alfie was incredibly quick, and to be fair, I already thought he was just going to run away with it, to be honest. But I think obviously the first safety car ruined him. Obviously, it came out just as he obviously went past the pits, so it was obviously a perfect time to pit for us. And went on the mediums. I'll be honest, it was a really 50-50 decision between mediums or hards. I thought I saw pretty much everyone apart from me and Bezos went on the hards, and I was thinking that at first it was probably the wrong decision, but I also had faith in myself that I would make them last, which I did. I think the second safety car helped obviously a little bit as well. That helped me cool him down for 1 or 2 laps and get him going again. I think shout out Para as well. I mean, he helped me a lot with that race. I think after the first safety car when he let me past and held up everyone, so yeah, big shout out to him for that. And then from the second safety car onwards, it was I was just gunning it the whole way. Honestly, I am absolutely sweating right now, to be honest. Yeah, it was incredibly hard fought win, but I am just buzzing. I'm buzzing. I've finally won a race in this division. I think, without sounding a bit too big-headed, I think it has been a long time coming. I think my pace towards the end of last season definitely improved a lot. So I think I'm just buzzing to finally do it. I think another thing, one more thing I want to actually say as well is obviously this is the very first race where it's obviously been branded the obviously the Callum McKeon division. So tonight, obviously, I'm gonna dedicate that win to him completely. I think hope me and him got on very well, and I think he would have been proud and happy seeing that, hopefully, if obviously he was still with us.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. I think he would be, looking down if there is a place to, and really enjoyed that race.
100%. So tonight that's 100% dedicated to him.
Yes.
Lovely sentiments, mate.
Fantastic drive from yourself, and lovely sentiments, and taking that early championship lead, and on to China next week.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on China?
Well, again, it's a bit of a pad track, isn't it? It's always been renowned as a bit of a pad track. So I guess we'll just wait and see. I like the track a lot. I've always been pretty quick round it, pretty good round it. So I've not really done much of it this game so far, but yeah, obviously I'll practice during the week. I'll look forward to it, and we'll just see what happens.
Yes, indeed we will. But there's certainly no better way to start the season from yourself picking up the victory, and can sleep well tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much.
Yep.
You made us all sweat as well. I'm dripping, mate. That was good.
Yeah, mate. It was horrible. It was horrible.
Yep. Yes. Congratulations to the podium finishers, and thank you all for watching. Well, that rounds up the first weekend. All of these races, I think, were excellent in their own way, and four very deserving race winners from our first 4 F1 races, and of course the F2 races as well. Thank you all for watching. I've been SLR Sam here with SLR Hypers. Hope you can join us next week for China, our round 2, Friday night, 8 PM.
Dun, dun,
Good night.
dun.